I mean, part of the hardest part of this game, of windows and doors, like you said, is anybody thinks they can do it, and the worst part about that is when they talk to the customer, nobody sits in front of the customer and says, "Hey, I'm gonna trash your house. I'm not gonna come back. I'm not gonna start. I'm gonna prioritize other jobs." It's endless. Oh, if there's a warranty issue, I'm not your guy. They're not gonna say all those things. They're gonna say they're the best. They're gonna say it's a boutique service. They're gonna say it's one on one. You're dealing with me. They know what to say to get those jobs. But I just got to think that there's so many people out there, so many CEOs and leaders out there of companies all across the country that would really kill to be in a situation where they have that social trigger where they're instantly recognized for their trade with something outside of it, like you are. If you guys haven't read Jonah Berger, Contagious, that book, I was joking around with Mike the other day. I was like, look, I feel like you might have even co-wrote this book with Jonah because you've really taken everything in that book to heart and executed it on a really high level. And you've been able to sustain it, Mike, over, I don't know how many years that ad's been running, but when did that start?
Cookies probably started around, it's probably around 2011 with the cookies. So,
Yeah, that's amazing to have
yeah,
one campaign just run that long,
yeah.
and be able to yield the results that you guys have had. That's awesome. What do you do to keep the culture of your business, Mike? How do you continue to be able to give the quality installation, the customer service that you are to kind of back up what you're saying and what you're doing in your advertisements?
That's a great question, but a couple of things. Number one, you hit it on the nose. People don't want to work for a boss anymore. Those days are done. When I came up in
Yeah.
this business, I worked for a boss. He would scream, yell, holler. Nobody took it personally, but that's the way you managed. Let's call it a construction company or home improvement company back in the day. Nowadays, people want a leader. So, first and foremost, you have to be around. I mean, I understand that we're a single location, so I'm able to be here all the time, but I'm not someone who likes to take tons of vacation or take time back because I want to be here. I want to be involved. And number two, you have to be a part of, I believe, the hiring process, through part of the training process and then be here, no, no, you got to keep polishing that stone. It's
Yeah.
Again, we had a lot of, not a lot, but we lost veteran. I'm blessed. I have about 8 employees that have been here, employees that have been around for, 10 plus years, and this year we're rewarding them all with big bonuses, for being here so long,
It's
and
awesome.
then we have guys who have been here for 8 years, guys and gals, and, 6, 7, and so I have always been blessed that I didn't have a high turnover rate. When the great resignation started, that was we're bringing on new people, and new people mean they have to, you got to learn their quirks, they got to learn yours, but most importantly, you're right. They need to be led. They need a leader. They don't need a boss. If somebody does something wrong, they have to say it's okay. It's expected. To your point as well, Greg, is educating the consumer. Look, every time we try to set a consultation, people are expecting Jim Bob in a pickup truck to show up with a wad of tobacco in his mouth and measure the windows and write it down on a piece of paper or email you a quote. That is not one size fits all. Especially with the different types of products that are available today. You need to take the time. You need to tell your client, look, this is why I need to spend some time with you. We're not just gonna. It's not as easy as coming to your house, taking out a few screws and popping out a window.
Right.
You're gonna have strange men in your house. It's a large enough job. It could take up to a week. It could take a few days.
Yep.
In a cover, but you're still gonna have dust. These parts might need painted after we're done. So you have to educate a client on the process of the window installation, because they don't know what to expect. It's true of most remodels. They're expecting, 10 guys to show up, get it done in a day, and they never notice you were there. When we all know in reality that's not the way it works. So we're gonna have big trucks parked in front of your house. Your neighbors, if you live on a skinny street, might complain, just let us know. We'll move them. Um, we're going to cover all your furniture. We're going to take down your blinds and drapes. But just know that this is a dusty job. Dust does get everywhere.
It
We'll
sure
do our best
does.
to maintain it. But you got to let the clients know that up front. You got to educate them, and you got to look as a CEO, as a leader. You're not running these appointments. You're not the one talking to each and every client. So again, you have to educate your team to make sure that that message is being relayed to the client. Whether it's sales, in my case, I have a remeasure. I have general managers that check orders. So throughout that process, we're making sure that that client, was being told the truth and understands what to expect. And now, for the past year or two, we've been dealing with supply chain issues. It
Yeah.
was something that was new, at first, but once we realized, okay, these aren't going to go away right away. And it could be, it takes weeks to get windows. Sometimes it was, shortage on lumber, caulking.
That was tough, wasn't it? Because a lot of people were not forthright saying that it was going to take 9 months to get windows. They were still saying it was going to, I can get it in, still the 5, 6 weeks. And then they just dealt with the backlash after they got the money. And so you have to kind of, like you said, educate that customer that this is a global issue. What kind of customer, what client, what manufacturer are you using? And believe it or not, that is basically how Power 100 started, Mike, I didn't want to compete with somebody that wasn't going to be a real company, right? That was going to deliver subpar service, cut corners on installation, down in Florida, not rebucking, whatever the case may be. So I created a short list of people that I was okay with competing with, right?
Right.
And at the end of the day, I don't mind losing as long as I know the customer is going to somebody that's going to get a job done. And at the end of the day, it's all on whoever's out at the house. They're going to connect with one person or another, and that's okay. There's enough business to go around. But yeah, being forthright and educating the client ahead of time is I can tell that you do it over and over again, because look at your growth throughout the years. Look at your brand throughout the years. It's held strong. So with that said, what's next for Weather Tite Windows? I know originally we talked, you maybe go outside the area, but we're in a fortunate position. If you're being in Tampa, Florida, everybody's coming to you. So you don't have to expand to go get new clients. What's next for you guys?
Out of Tampa, we service about 9 different counties, and they're pretty large counties. So, the facilities that we're in now, I mean, we currently occupy 3 buildings, and then we, some land around us. And we're in a very great location in central Tampa, so we get, a lot of foot traffic where we're located. The next step would, even before we probably expand outside the Tampa Bay region, is to probably expand the size of our warehouse and the amount of people we can employ, because
That's amazing.
yeah, we're able to maintain because we have the 3 buildings, but we're almost outgrowing those facilities.
Yeah, for the people that are listening and watching this, like you drive by and it's like Mike's got a whole city block. Okay. And it's like, okay, when does this place end? And then you see a lot, and then you see a bunch of trucks parked on it. It's like, it's really good. I mean, it's nice to see they're a privately held company, been in business for a long time, and they really are part of the community. Mike, is anyone else to wrap up? Is anyone that you want to thank or anything that you want to say in closing?
Just you guys, I'm honored to be mentioned on your list. I was surprised I wasn't in that number 1 spot, but I'll give something else to work for.
That's it, man. Well, thanks again for being on, and I'm sure you will be moving up on the ranks in the next year or so. So thanks again, Mike. Appreciate it.
Don't forget the cookies. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, we'll bring them, man.
Thank you.